happy Thanksgiving. My name is Marisa Shevey, and this is The Sword Streaming. This last weekend, the WLC Theater Department presented You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown, a musical comedy by Charles M. Schultz, Clark Gesner, and Josh Gordon. We were able to sit down with the members of the musical to see what their favorite parts of the production were, and here's what they had to say.
I would have to say my favorite part of the show was the section where I got to really connect with Charlie Brown in like the psychiatric scene. The song that we sang called "The Doctor Is In." It related to adult qualities, like psychiatric help and topics of depression, and it was just a really good scene where Charlie Brown and Lucy got to connect. So that was my favorite part of the show.
I would say my favorite moment from You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown was the Glee Club rehearsal. The reason for that is because I am the one who basically kind of controls the whole situation, and I try to be as spontaneous as possible, as well as I have the most fun with the kazoo moment, where basically I use it as a pitch pipe, but I try and make it the most obnoxious noise as possible to get as many people to laugh. And I know I've broken the other characters a couple times because of it. So that always stands out as probably my favorite moment.
I think that my favorite part of the show was definitely the song Supper Time. I really liked it because it challenged me in a lot of ways to work on my vocal range and also like my abilities to dance and sing at the same time, but also it was just a time for me to really explore the character of Snoopy and put a lot of myself into him.
My favorite part was during a music rehearsal when John Spaeth, who was Schroeder, said Charlie Ball instead of Charlie Brown, and we had to take like a 10-minute break because we couldn't stop laughing.
Thank you, cast members. The WLC Christmas Choir Concert will take place on Friday, December 3rd through Sunday, December 5th. Friday and Saturday's shows start at 7:30 p.m., and Sunday's show will begin at 2:30 p.m. More than 80 student and guest musicians will perform sacred choral music under the direction of Dr. James Nowak. Tickets are selling fast, so get them before they're gone. In the spirit of hunting season starting up, the Sword Streaming's highlighted club this week is the Archery Club. Amy Knapel met with club president Logan Ascher to tell us more about his club.
Hi there, my name is Logan Ascher, and I'm the president of the Archery Club here at WLC. We currently go out and shoot about once a week or every other week during the busy times of the semester. We usually meet on Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday nights, sometimes between 5 and 7. We mix up our schedule to fit as many people as possible at our events. We're open to teaching anyone who wants to try out archery.
Thanks, Logan. Another year, another successful variety show for the Warrior Events Board. The Sword Streaming wants to congratulate all of the acts for the fantastic show they put on last week, Tuesday the 16th. Congratulations to the first place winners and crowd favorite of the show, Regular Carrots Cut into Baby Carrot Size, with their covers of You Really Got Me by Van Halen and I Wanna Rock and Roll All Night by Kiss. Addie Slaminski and Sonia Akela's Feet for Hands took second place, and Jonathan Arndt and Caleb Jones's The Dynasty act won third place honors. A big thank you and well done is to all of the acts who performed last week, and thank you to everyone behind the scenes as well. If you want to watch it again, it's available on livestream.com. If you search WLC Variety Show, it will be the top option. Now, let's look at how our WLC sports teams are doing. For our on-campus sports recap, we'll start with football. The Warriors ended the 2021 season with a hard-fought 51-49 loss against the Benedictine Eagles. This was a back-and-forth game throughout, with the Warriors holding a 21-17 lead at the half. The Warriors took a 49-45 lead on a touchdown run by senior running back Justin Pards with a minute 26 left in the fourth quarter. But the Eagles came storming down the field on a three-play, 63-yard drive in 30 seconds to take the lead for good. Football finished the season with a 3-7 overall record, including 3-5 against conference opponents. Senior quarterback Nick Yockey finished the season fifth in the NAC in both passing yards per game and touchdowns with 235.4 and 22, respectively. Parbs finished fourth in both rushing yards per game with 111.9 yards per game and touchdowns with 11. Sophomore wide receiver Carter Schneider also received fourth in the NAC with 80.6 receiving yards per game. On the defensive side, senior linebacker Ty Castillo led the NAC with 12 tackles per game. Castillo also led all of Division III college football with 8.2 solo tackles per game. Postseason awards were released for the NAC this week, and WLC football boasted 8 winners. Senior running back Justin Parbs, sophomore offensive lineman Thomas Higgins, senior linebacker Ty Castillo, and sophomore defensive lineman Kyle Kubaki all got second-team all-conference accolades, while sophomore receiver Carter Schneider, sophomore kick returner Mike Dupree, freshman kicker Arnulfo Ortega, and senior quarterback Nick Yaki earned honorable mentions. The cross-country team finished their season off with the NCAA Division III North Regional on Saturday the 13th. The men finished 19 out of 29 teams. Senior Chris Cron finished in first among all Warriors runners, finishing 87th out of 219 runners. Sophomore Zeke Mitchell and Peyton Hartman and freshman Luke Donart all set personal best times in the race. The women, meanwhile, finished 26th out of 32 teams. Junior Michaela Sullivan was the top finisher for the Warriors, finishing 109th out of a massive 226 runner field with a personal best time. The ladies had 4 other runners finish with personal best times, 3 of them being sophomores. Congratulations to the cross-country team for fantastic seasons. The women's basketball team began their season with 2 wins in a row against MLC and Washington University. After their November 17th matchup against Carthage was postponed, they kept on rolling this last weekend with 2 more wins over Chicago and the 22nd ranked Millikan in Chicago for the Midway Classic. The women will head to Concordia, Wisconsin on the Tuesday after Thanksgiving break, November 30th, to play the Falcons. The men's basketball team had an 80-73 win on Monday the 15th at Beloit, and they took their 3-0 record into Waverly, Iowa for the Buzz Levick tip-off tournament this last weekend. The men started off with an 84-71 win on Friday the 19th versus Cornell College, but they ended it on a sour note with their first loss of the season, a 78-59 loss to Wartburg. They then came back to WLC and took their second loss in a row against MLC on Tuesday. The men will head to Concordia, Wisconsin next Wednesday, a day after the girls, to kick off the month of December. We love our WLC sports teams, but we also love our Wisconsin sports teams. After a setback a couple of weeks ago in a loss to the Kansas City Chiefs, the Packers went back to their winning ways with a 17-0 shutout of the Seattle Seahawks on November 14th. Unfortunately, the Packers could not continue that momentum in a heartbreaking loss to the NFC North rival Minnesota Vikings on a game-winning field goal from Vikings kicker Greg Joseph this last Sunday. The Packers have a very tough matchup coming up with the Los Angeles Rams, a team that, despite losing 2 in a row to the Tennessee Titans and the San Francisco 49ers, are seen by many as a prime Super Bowl favorite and are coming off of their bye week. The Badgers, meanwhile, won games that they were supposed to against bottom feeders in the Big Ten West with a 35-7 win over Northwestern and a 35-28 win against Nebraska. The Badgers remain tied atop the division with Iowa with only 1 game remaining in the regular season, a matchup against the 5-3 Minnesota team this coming weekend to determine the champions of the West. The Bucks began their newest 2-week stretch with tough back-to-back losses to the Boston Celtics and Atlanta Hawks. They then came back with 3 consecutive wins against the Lakers, Thunder, and Magic last week before going 1-1 so far this week. The Bucks will finish the week with 2 away games against the Nuggets on Friday and the Pacers on Sunday. In a fun segment to end the show this week, the Growing Swords streaming crew went out to the streets of WLC to ask people a simple Thanksgiving question. What are you thankful for?
I'm thankful for my friends and family for always supporting me.
I'm thankful for my family and my home that I'm going back to for the holidays. I'm also thankful for my friends here in WLC, which is now my home away from home.
I'm thankful for my education.
I'm thankful for you.
There are so many things to be thankful for. Make sure that you take the time this Thanksgiving break to celebrate the things you are thankful for. That's all we have for this episode of The Sword Streaming. My name's Marisa Shevey, wishing you a happy Thanksgiving, and as always, God's blessings.